Welcome friends to the 2026 Hyundai Tucson. We have some subtle new updates to talk about, but as always, if you stay tuned until the end of this video, I'll be sharing with you how you can save a substantial amount of money on new vehicles, along with some other free resources that you can utilize to help you save money on your own. Alright, let's get started. In this video, I will be covering the ICE model of the Tucson along with the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid. So on the ICE side, they have renamed the SEL convenience trim level to the SEL Premium trim. Regarding the hybrid, we get a new blue SE trim level that's going to be your new base, and they've dropped the previous regular blue trim level. The N-Line model that was available with the hybrids, that is no longer available for 2026. Towing capacity of the pure ICE models has gone up from 2,000 pounds to 2,750 pounds. However, the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid, they maintain the 2,000 pound towing capacity. When you go with the more off-road oriented XRT trim, we now get the terrain modes that include the mud, snow, and sand, and the plug-in hybrid versions. They are now going to include both the level 1 and the level 2 charging cable. On the hybrid and plug-in hybrid side, Hyundai has replaced the Titan Gray with the Ecotronic Gray color. And on the hybrids, they have gotten rid of the Titanium Gray matte finish. And those are pretty much all of your changes for the 2026 Tucson. The vehicle is of course on sale right now. You're able to build this on the Hyundai website. And compared to 2025, the prices have mostly gone up. Some trim levels, the price has gone down by like a couple dollars, but for the most part, the prices have gone up. I continue to recommend trim levels like the SEL Convenience for both the ICE models and for the hybrid. In fact, I actually do think going with the hybrid would be the best play regarding the Tucson, because the ICE models, they come standard with front-wheel drive, and if you want to add all-wheel drive, that's going to set you back an additional $1,500. Whereas the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid, they naturally come with the all-wheel drive system. You don't have to pay extra for that. Compared with the SEL Convenience Hybrid, you're only paying $1,100 more to get the hybrid, as opposed to a front-wheel drive pure gas model. And you also get the additional fuel economy benefits as well going with the hybrid. And overall, the Tucson, very quiet, comfortable SUV. I do appreciate its more subdued, upscale driving characteristics. I also like how we have separate HVAC controls and physical buttons and switches with the interior space. And as always, I am going to have the official press release and spec sheets from Hyundai on the screen for you to check out. That way you will know everything there is to know regarding the 2026 Tucson. I appreciate the SEL because it does come with some decent features. Like that's when you begin to get the heated seats, the heated outside mirrors. You naturally get the blind spot monitoring and the rear cross traffic alert as standard across the board. I really appreciate that. You also begin to get the rear privacy glass with the SEL trims and more adjustability in the front seats. Like the driver's seat now has 8-way power adjustability along with lumbar support. You don't get that with the base entry-level model. However, if you truly want the best, most premium features, you do have to step up to the limited to get things like the ventilated front seats, the heated rear seats, the upgraded Bose audio system. They pretty much gatekeep all of those types of features for the limited. And another thing that the limited gets is the thicker double pane glass on the front side windows. So the limited is also going to be the quietest Tucson, but not to worry, even the more entry-level models are extremely quiet. So I definitely don't recommend paying that hefty premium for the limited, especially since this is a Hyundai product. It doesn't really retain its value anywhere close to something like a Honda or a Toyota, so it's best not to overpay with this brand. You still get a 12.3-inch infotainment screen with things like the SC and the SEL, but you only get the 6-speaker audio system, but you do get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard across the board, along with over-the-air updates. Now, depending on the way that you're going to be buying this and how long you keep your vehicles, that's also going to play into which model you should get, because the regular ICE model, it is powered by the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with 187 horsepower and 178 pounds-feet of torque. The hybrid and even the plug-in hybrid, they come with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. All models can utilize regular fuel, so that's good. But of course, the hybrids, they do produce more power. 231 horses, 271 pounds-feet of torque for the hybrid. And the plug-in hybrid has the same torque, but the horsepower goes up to 268. And Hyundai is utilizing a lithium-ion battery pack. Something else to note, the pure ICE models get the 8-speed automatic transmission, whereas the hybrids, they're not utilizing like an eCVT setup, similar to what Toyota would do. No, we actually have a physical like 6-speed automatic transmission with the hybrids. Overall, it's not a bad system at all. It's not the absolute smoothest, but it's okay. You do get that 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty with these Hyundai products. That's what I'm saying. If you're leasing this or something, it is worth considering the hybrid. And you also want to make sure that you have a high quality Hyundai dealership near where you live to take advantage of that warranty. And again, the way in which you decide to purchase these vehicles, that's also going to play a role into which model and trim is going to be best for you. But since you made it to the end of this video, here's how you can save a substantial amount of money with new vehicles. You can reach out to AutoCompanion, who is one of the largest car brokers in the United States. He has partner dealerships both in Washington, D.C. and in California. He does offer nationwide shipping. I've had 2 vehicles shipped with them, never had an issue, but that is something you have to pay extra for, so it would be ideal if you could pick up locally at D.C. or in California. I believe he also has some other partner dealerships in other regions and states as well, but you'll have to ask him about that. But yeah, on things like the RAV4s and the CR-V Hondas, he's got around 10% off the MSRP, which is not bad at all considering they are vehicles that really hold their value. He actually does have some Hyundai Kia deals. He's not currently advertising them on his website, but that is something that he offers. And this video is obviously about the Tucson, so you can certainly ask him about that. I believe in the past he was offering like 12% off the MSRP on the Tucson. Of course, all of these things, they can change every month, so just ask them about that. But yeah, if you were to look at 2022 model year Tucsons that are limited trim levels with way under 50,000 miles, they're still only trading for around $20,000, sometimes even less than 20 grand. Whereas if you look at a RAV4, a limited trim level RAV4 between 2022 and 2025, on average, the RAV4 is going to be holding its value like 10 grand more, sometimes more than 10 grand over the equivalent Tucson. So that's pretty crazy. RAV4 is like the ideal vehicle where if you have cash, you just buy it outright. If you get a discount, even better. And you just hang on to that for as long as possible. Obviously, like 80-90% of people in the United States, they are unable to just pay cash for a new RAV4. I get that, but since the Hyundai Kia brand, since they're not really holding their value as well, maybe you should consider leasing it. The lease programs are kind of average, but I did run numbers on the SCL convenience model of the 2026 hybrid Tucson. It came out to be around $409 a month for a high tax state like Pennsylvania. And that's assuming you have perfect credit and you're putting no money down. By the way, this is a free leasing calculator provided to you by AutoCompanion. You can use this tool to even negotiate on your own, and it will show you the interest rate of a lease, the residual values, and the incentives that you can get in your local zip code. And incentives, they stack on top of the dealer discount. In this instance, for this calculation, I assumed a 10% discount. Can you achieve that on your own? I really don't know. You should be able to. There's like 40,000 new Tucsons for sale in the entire country. Close to 30,000 of those are 2026 models. The plug-in hybrids, that's going to be really hard to negotiate on because there's only like 400 available for sale in the entire country. So I'm just focusing on the ICE and the regular hybrid. But yeah, getting 10% off on a Tucson, that's going to be well under invoice. Typically invoice on one of these Tucsons, it's around $1,500 only. So it should be rather easy to get $1,500 off the sticker price, but that's only like 4% off the sticker. As mentioned before, these things kind of tank in value, so you got to get like 10% off. So it would be ideal when you're trying to reach out to dealerships, try and find one that's been sitting on the lot for a longer period of time. That's going to be the vehicle that a dealership would want to get rid of. And if you're reaching out to dealerships and you're using things like AutoCompanion's calculator, don't tell them where you got your numbers from and only reach out to the general manager of that dealership. Don't talk to any of the sales associates. Just find the general manager's email and email them directly the deal and the discount and the vehicle that you want. Or if you don't want to put up with all that, you can just pay AutoCompanion his broker fee and you can just pick from his selected already discounted vehicles from his website. And yes, you do have to pay a fee to AutoCompanion. He did say that if you mention my channel, he'll take some money off of his fee, and I really appreciate him doing that for my audience. So I can have all their information in the description box below along with their free calculator. If you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.